The European Union, EU, is a political and economic union of 28 member states that are located primarily in Europe, including the UK, Germany, and France. So, why was the EU formed? Let's look back at the situation before the EU was formed, and you will understand why countries are exiting the EU today. Before forming the EU, due to the different law systems and policies between the countries, the people in Europe has a lot of hassles in visiting each other. Moving to another country is even more difficult. Jack is an Italian and he has a friend, Francis, which lives in the UK. Francis has a better well-off living in the UK, and Jack really wishes to move to the UK as well, even just to work there, not having a citizenship. However, the UK would not let anyone come into the country easily. There is no trust that ties between the two countries, and it is difficult to even just visiting each other, let alone for immigration. Besides, the trading between the countries has a lot of troubles as well. Jack could not move to live in the UK, and he could not sell his homemade spaghetti to the UK as well, because they both are going to be taxed heavily. Of course, this situation is actually mutual for both countries, which means the products made in UK, such as luxury cars, would like to be exported to Italy, they are going to be taxed heavily as well. Due to the trade protection policies, people in both countries need to pay for higher prices for imported goods. Some of those are daily needed, therefore influencing their daily lives directly. Some countries were weak in protecting their currencies and policies as well before forming the EU. Take the UK as an example. The pound had been attacked by Soros before the euro has formed, and UK took their last breath to protect it. If it happens after forming the EU, the situation would be so much different. That's why the EU was formed in 2002. The EU brings mainly 5 advantages for the member states. First, up to a population of 600 million people of the member states could have the freedom to visit, study, and even immigrate to other member states. Second, the forming of the EU creates a lot of jobs. So far, there are 3.5 million of work positions created. Third, the abolition of the trade protection lowered the prices of the imported goods, and the people would benefit from it. Fourth, the member states, especially those smaller countries, could, therefore, improve their influence and now become more powerful in bargaining with other countries in trades and other affairs. Also could avoid the probability of violence happening in their regions. Fifth, the union of their economic systems could make them stronger against the impact of the currency and economic shocks. One thing must be noted is that the European Union does not equal to the Eurozone. Jack once traveled to other European countries, and he has a great time there in Germany, Italy, and France. However, when he was visiting Denmark, he found out that Denmark is not using euro as their settlement currency, and this bothered him quite a lot. There are 28 member states in the European Union, and only 19 of them are using euro. The euro is managed by the European Central Bank. Today, the UK and Denmark are still using their own currencies respectively as their settlement currencies instead of the euro. In 2016, the UK has decided to leave the EU, that is so-called the Brexit. Francis, as a British, is very supportive of this idea. The EU has so many advantages, as mentioned before. Why would people still want to leave? There are several reasons for it. First, the members need to pay quite a lot of membership fee to the EU to help the poorer member states, such as Greece, developing their economy, mainly help to build their infrastructure. So, leaving the EU could lessen their financial burden. Actually, it's always good to be able to help others. However, the EU has a lot of restrictions that impose on the member states. Those restrictions impose on different fields, from trading, healthcare, laws, housewares, stationery to food. Even the shapes, camber angles of the bananas are being restricted to a specific standard. Thus, leaving the EU allows you to have your own decision-making based on your will. Lastly, the new immigration rules lead to a lot of refugees to flood into the UK which becomes a burden to the country. On top of that, the negative information that are covered by the media, British residents such as Francis feel like being threatened, and they have decided to leave the EU as a result. They will lose the advantages they have had when they join the EU as well. It is pretty normal the country would weigh out the pros and cons making any decisions. If you are always paying more than gaining, it is no wonder you will quit the game at the end of the day.